Fit to Love, episode 161, How to Create Soul Space.
Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Freedom Fridays. Today's show, how to create soul space. We have back Adoley Odunton. She's a spiritual life coach, a speaker, author of 52 Weeks to Create a Life You Love and Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, and the host of a very popular Wellness Revolution Telesummit Series, providing cutting-edge information about health and healing to listeners worldwide. She's also my former partner of the 6-Week Beachbody program, although she's not really former because this whole program she's doing and us getting together to talk again has been getting the juices flowing. She has empowered thousands of people to make lasting and positive changes in their lives. Adoley earned a master's degree in English from Oxford University. She began her career first as a television star in England, then as a producer in Hollywood, where she mastered the art of making things happen and supervised the production of over 40 movies for television. A physical breakdown due to constantly running on empty led to a wholesale reassessment of her life. A long struggle to heal herself of a rare autoimmune disease led to a spiritual calling. She became a spiritual life coach, hypnotherapist, and practitioner in several healing modalities. Adoley's mission is to educate and empower people to reclaim their health and to give them the tools that create optimal health and well-being in body, mind, and spirit. Welcome back to the show, Adoley.
Thank you, JJ. So glad to be here again.
I love this topic. So, so for those of you who've been listening for a while, if you've subscribed to the Fit to Love podcast show, then you've gotten all of our shows. And Adoley actually was on our very, very first Wellness Wednesday. It was episode 3, What Doctors Don't Tell You. And we recently had her come back for episode number 156, Declutter Your Life to Get What You Want. So if you have not heard either of those, I would highly recommend, especially the Declutter Your Life to Get What You Want. Go back and listen to that. It was awesome. We had so much fun. It was such great information, and I know you'll be inspired after you hear it. So today we're going to talk about how to create soul space. So of course we have to beg the question, first and foremost, Adoley, what is soul space?
What is soul space? So soul space is creating the space in your life, in your physical space, your physical body, your mental and emotional and spiritual self that allows you to really be the person you want to be, the person who you know you were born to be, and live the life you were meant to live, unafraid, unapologetic, just fully expressing yourself. Time and time again, JJ, I see people who are stuck and frustrated because there are areas in their lives that they simply can't change. These may be areas of their lives where they long to see dramatic change. They want to lose weight and get healthy. They want to land that great job or create that amazing business that pays them well, where they're really helping people, or they want to find a loving and caring partner. Whatever their dreams are, they're near and dear to their hearts, but they seem far away or impossible. Now, Soul Space addresses more than just their desire to change. It's a program that helps all of us recognize that until you address and detox, quite frankly, it's a cleanse, it helps you to detox the underlying mental, emotional, and spiritual blocks. The extra pounds won't budge. Your bank balance won't increase. Your relationships won't improve. And you won't be able to really connect with that inner guidance that allows you to discover why you are here, your life purpose, and freely express your gifts, your talents, and everything that you are here to give. Now, I like to call it a journey home to your true self, because often all of the clutter that we have in our lives, and we have a lot of clutter, do we not? We have physical clutter, but we also have emotional clutter. We also have mental clutter. All of that clutter is covering up everything that we really want to express. We are covering it up with our stuff, with our fears, with our past, with everything that we're holding on because we're afraid to let go. And during the course of this, I like to call it a 30-day challenge or a 30-day journey. We have fun together, we kind of play together, and we go on a journey where you can begin to let go of your stuff. And as you let go of your stuff, you lighten up. And as you lighten up, you make room and you're more available to play and you're more available for the new things to come into your life as you let go of the old.
So what I love about SoulSpace, even the name of your program, is it begs the question, do you have space in your life
Yes.
for your soul to expand? Do you create, do you practice creating space? And in today's day and age, I would say that most people would say no, they don't. We're about accumulating stuff. We're about busyness. In fact, we did a show about understanding and healing addiction. And in the last show you and I did, number 156, Declutter Your Life to Get What You Want, I realized and recognized that clutter is like busyness. It's an addiction. It's one of those addictions that actually mask, sort of like food does. If someone has a food addiction and they're numbing by having food or some kind of drugs or alcohol or tobacco or TV. I mean, addiction comes in many forms. It's not just substance and chemical. It can just be behaviors that numb us from our true selves and who we really are and what we want to express.
Exactly. And it is so important to recognize that the clutter operates on a lot of different levels, but whatever form it comes in, it's like we have this wonderful river of energy that we flow in. We're a part of it. And we keep placing all these rocks and boulders that block the river's course, and it impedes the flow of our energy. And if we don't remove the clutter, we simply don't have the same resources and energy and passion and focus or clarity to bring to the things that we undertake. Let's face it, everywhere we go, we are being asked to consume, we're being asked to buy. Stuff is literally being thrown at us. Most of it, stuff that we don't need, stuff that we would never have thought of. As a country, we consume. We are the biggest consumers on the planet. We have, how many people have, if you were to go around and just count the number of screens you have in your house, your telephone, your computer, your iPad, your television set, all these different devices, what is it that we really need? Broken devices we have in our houses, old devices that we no longer use. It's extraordinary. And our lives are designed, and the way things are created are for them to be obsolete within a year or two, and we replace it with something new. We're constantly bombarded with noise. Everything is designed to fill up our space. Soul space is about actually creating space in our lives, having more and more white space, not just in our environment, but space for us to think. I don't know about you. With all of that clutter that is constantly coming at you, there isn't enough room to think. There's not enough room to really allow yourself to feel, to get in touch with what is it that I really feel about things. Usually there's so many people telling you how you should feel, how you should think, what you should think. There isn't the room for you to connect and to know who you really are and what is it that your heart really longs for. So the journey where we allow ourselves to really connect to the things that we love, to find out the things that are really important to us, and to create enough space in our lives and to allow the space to exist long enough for us to really select, handpick what we want to invite into our space. And JJ, the idea of sort of loving and honoring your space and choosing carefully what you invite back into your space. What are the relationships you invite into that space? What are the objects that you bring into that space? What are the thoughts that you bring into that space that will really honor and support you to be the brilliant, amazing JJ that we know that you are. And for all of us, it's that invitation to create that physical, mental, and emotional space for your most authentic self to bloom. And that is really the journey.
What I love about what we talked about on the last show, Declutter Your Life to Get What You Want, we're introducing this Soul Space is your program. But Soul Space is more than a program. It's an idea, as we're talking
Yes,
about,
it's
to
an
create.
idea. I
Right.
don't mean the program.
Right. Well, but both. What I really like about the concept and the program is the accountability for steps, accountability steps for both
Yes.
clutter and clearing and all the things that we're going to talk about, because just like I parallel exercise in my mind and sports specific training. In a lot of exercise programs, let's say, people will be training for something specific. And one of the myths about sports specific training is that you weight or make harder what sport it is you're doing. So let's just say, for instance, a golf club. People will swing a weight like they'd swing a golf club, which is really not the best approach to sport specific training, because your sport, the best way to get better at your sport is to do your sport, number one. Number two, your sport wears down your body in a specific way that your training, you want to design your training to withstand the stress of that sport. So you want to build the other aspects of the body in order to be strong against sort of that wear and tear of whatever the sport is. And so what's coming to me as you're talking is that creating soul space, because we live in a digital world where this is the reality of our lives, and we're not going to get away from it. And we're not supporting people go live in a cave or completely disconnect. It's about, like you just said, creating space for what's important, being able to identify that and then follow through with that, so that when you do engage in electromagnetic frequencies, or you're engaging in chaotic, kind of crazy, fun environments, it's by choice, it's mindful, and you have listened to your higher self to give you that information to know that that's what will serve you best, right?
Right.
So it's creating that, it's like sports specific training for your life. It's sort of like having that support, that necessary underlying foundational vibrational support for your body to even thrive in today's world. It's necessary.
I love the way that you put that, because it's exactly that. Creating that awareness, creating that process of mindfulness, and empowering you to really connect and know yourself. Because it's really a journey so that you can connect to you. If you know yourself and you have a sense of where you really are and what it is that you really need and want, independent of all the noise, independent of all the clutter, as you say, you can choose. You can make conscious choices. Nobody is saying we're not going to move back into a cave. We love the lives we have, are glorious, where we have so many choices and so many options. But a lot of us are engaged in behaviors where we're not conscious, and or even when we're conscious, we don't know how to say no, or to stop, or disconnect. And once you know how to do those things, and you know and understand what you need, then you can engage and disengage at will. And that is a beautiful thing. You can choose how much television I participate in, how much I engage. It doesn't mean that shopping isn't a wonderful thing. It doesn't mean that going to movies isn't a wonderful thing. But you are no longer at the effect of the world. You are the one who is actually choosing and consciously deciding what you bring into your environment. And that is a great thing.
I think it's a great thing, because it's not necessarily about the action, it's about the energy behind the action. It's about the alignment with the action. I know a lot of people keep referring back to this addiction podcast, but it's so true. When I saw the world differently through our actions and behaviors, and how we're as addicted to some of those things, it's not about the activity, it's about the intention behind it.
Exactly.
Dr. Christiane Northrup's new book, right? She's talking about engaging in pleasure, but mindfully, not in an addiction way, enjoying, savoring. Certain aspects of health come from enjoying your life, but savoring it in a mindful, in the present moment way that touches your soul, that you are completely energetically in alignment with, and not as a distraction. Or let's dive into the parts of soul space. I know clutter is a big one. Can you explain the different kinds of clutter?
Absolutely. So we start out with physical clutter because most of us have it. Most of us have a
Guilty.
lot of
Yes, guilty.
physical clutter, and we distinguish between what is clutter and what isn't. And the number one rule is the things that you really love, the things that make you feel good, the things that make your heart sing, that's not clutter. So we start by identifying those things and systematically eliminating the things that are not that. And I want you all just to imagine, what would life be like if everything that you had in your environment and in your primary relationships and in the way you move through life were basically that was the defining thing? Things I love to do, things I love to engage in, people I love to be around, and an environment that just nurtures me. That would be an extraordinary life, and it's ultimately the life that we all want. So we go through a series of steps to create that in our physical environment. I want to address the emotional and the mental and the spiritual states because those are the ones that are less obvious. And most of you have a sense of physical clutter, and the program certainly addresses physical clutter and gives you a lot of tools in terms of that. But I want to look at some of the mental and the emotional ones. So, while you're cleaning up your physical environment, it's also important to identify the messes we have in our personal life that sap our energy, the things that we spend our time thinking about, beating ourselves up, and simply not handling. For example, conversations that you are avoiding having, conversations that you know that you didn't complete, incomplete communications. You didn't really express yourself, and because you didn't express yourself, it's affecting your relationship. How many of you have ever had a friend who did something that really upset you, and you haven't told them, but it's impacting and affecting your relationship with them right now? Maybe you're complaining about them to someone else. Certainly, you don't feel the same way about them, but you haven't communicated what happened and you're withholding from them. So we often have things that we don't complete that affect us and drain our energy. We have all kinds of things that we feel we should do and don't do that drain our energy. We have all sorts of unfinished commitments that we have that are no longer serving us. Think about commitments that you make, activities that you engage in that you know are not really helping you, but you haven't had the willpower or the courage to really communicate and say, I need to let this go. And quite honestly, you often haven't even had that presence of mind to really recognize that this is something you need to let go. So what we have, if you like, is we recognize that everything is energy and that we are vibrational beings, we are energetic beings. And we begin to look at all the places in our lives where our energy is being sapped. What are the things in our lives that we feel that we should do but aren't doing that drain our energy? What are the things that we need to let go of? For example, people who drain our energy, situations and people that we do out of obligation. We look at resentments and grudges that we have against people. And things that we feel people owe us, whether it be possessions or money. And we have all kinds of way of identifying those things. I've created a chart that everybody can just list all these things. And then you begin to see, as an energetic being, all this energy is being siphoned off or is being blocked because you're not addressing it. And you get to choose whether you're going to do that. We look at your incomplete communications, phone calls you mean to return, letters, emails, contacts. You say to yourself, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get in contact with somebody. I mean to see somebody, and yet you don't do it. Well, that is all sucking up your energy. So you make a list of all those incompletions, and then you decide which ones you're going to tackle. You prioritize, and you make a commitment to deal with them. And you might also make a commitment to say, I'm never going to do this. Let's cross it off the list and let it go. Let it go energetically. But you get to identify them. Another aspect is our emotions, the emotions we hold on to because we don't want to either acknowledge our feelings to ourselves, or we aren't willing to express it. And we begin to identify those things. Where is it that we're holding on to emotion? And look at how we can express that. Sometimes it's expressed in communicating it to someone, but there are also tools for you to communicate it to yourself, to let go of the feeling without a confrontation, because not everybody knows how to communicate it effectively, or they may know that that person is someone where there may not be the possibility of expressing it, but we give you ways of doing it so that you can release it and let it go. Tolerations. There are things that we tolerate and put up with that are in our control. I'm in control of whether I have this conversation with JJ or not. But there are also things that I have to tolerate and put up with, and I have no control over it. For example, maybe I have a critical parent or a critical mother in law. I'm not going to be able to change that. Or I have a health condition, but perhaps I can change my attitude. So you will have an opportunity to make a list of the tolerations you can change and the ones that you can't change. Recognize how they're sapping your energy and what it is that you can change, either in making a new choice or changing your attitude to them, and how you can respond in the future. What is the strategy? What is the attitude? So, all of those are ways in which you can begin to really understand how your energy is flowing, where it's blocked, and how you can actually remove that boulder, because you will be given this process of identifying and making choices, prioritizing what you want to choose to let go of. And every time you let go of something, we have a private community. It's not even a Facebook community, it's actually a private community so people can really feel totally safe to express themselves, where you can share what's happening to you, you learn what's happening to other people, you can participate as much or as little as you want to, but you can get to witness everything that's going along, and you get to choose exactly in the same way we're describing in the program. You get to become aware, you get to make choices in terms of your level of participation, but you get the benefit of the group energy and everything that everybody else is sharing. JJ, as you know, this is a time where working together in group and community is really part of this shift that is taking place on this planet. Moving away from doing things on our own, by ourselves, and thinking we have to do it all. And tapping into the power of the group and the group energy is one of the things that I am seeing is really creating and supporting people to make tremendous change in their lives, the changes that they want to have, in a way that is graceful, that is easier, and that is incredibly empowering.
Absolutely. We are in need of community, and especially like-minded communities where we can support each other at our truest, deepest, most honest and authentic self. And Adley is going to tell us all about how, if you would like to experience this Soul Space program, I do need to take a break first and thank our sponsors. Do you want to look and feel years younger? Learn more about your hormone health and how to get properly tested. Sign up for the Healthy Hormone Kit at nourishingwellness.com. It features the essential tests you need to tell your doctor to order for you to learn more about your current levels. Plus, you'll receive lots of healthy eating and lifestyle tips to improve your hormone health naturally. Again, that's www.nourishingwellness.com. What does your self-care routine have to do with dating and relationships? Everything. How you treat yourself is the blueprint for how you show others how to treat you. I call this your body blueprint. Ready to change your body blueprint and manifest better quality relationships and physical results? I am giving away free copies of the second edition of Fit to Love, How to Get Physically, Emotionally, and Spiritually Fit to Attract the Love of Your Life, when you subscribe to this podcast. Visit fittolove.tv/ebook to download your copy today. That's FIT2LOVE.tv/ebook. Let's transform your body and your relationships. Okay, Adelaide, tell people how much, which is you shared this on the last show. It's a crazy, crazy opportunity that I really, if any of this has hit home at all for you, would recommend you take it because it won't stay this way. When it starts, how much it is, and how they can sign up.
It is a 30-day program, and you will receive all kinds of amazing goodies, including a bonus from JJ. And a brilliant feng shui master and an organizer who we have both worked with, who's wonderful, called Cheryl Perkins. Go to the website E as in Edward, Z as in zebra.com/SoulSpace. SoulSpace, and that will tell you everything about the program. E as in Edward, Z as in zebra.com/SoulSpace. And if you have any questions, send an email to support@adoley.com, and Adoley is ADOLEY.
And all of this will be also at fittolove.tv underneath this episode. So if you're driving, exercising, or somewhere where you can't write this down, come on over to fittolove.tv, find this episode, How to Create Soul Space, and it'll all be there for you. She did not mention the price.
I know, JJ, that's exactly what I realized. I didn't tell them how much it was.
I'm going to tell them it's $88. Okay, so that's crazy. And for a 30-day program where you're going to have accountability on all this stuff, I'm going to be there. Even if you just use the accountability to very innocently clean off your desk and a closet, you're going to get more out of it than that. But I know for me, having accountability is how I operate in life because I have so many things going on. And to make sure I even have accountability, I started a meditation group just to make sure I would meditate. Okay, so if I wanted, I created a book club, I created a meditation group, I created conscious discussion groups. So accountability is how you get it done, everybody. So I would definitely recommend checking this out.
And I just want to say, JJ, just so everybody understands, I've done a 30-day challenge, but I've taken the whole thing to another level based on the work that I've been doing over the past year. This is in the inaugural program, and I like to have people participate. I don't want any excuses why you're not doing it. So this is an introductory price. It will never be at this price again. And you will get...
Well, yeah, it's $88. It's $88. Like, hello. Okay, so we have to wrap up the show. But again, if you have not heard our episode that we did together, number 156, Declutter Your Life to Get What You Want, we go even more into different specifics about soul space and how to create that soul space and what that looks like and why you don't want to clutter in your life. So I definitely invite you to go back and check out that show. Adelaide, thank you. This is so much fun. We could do this again.
Thank you so much, JJ.
Looking for an engaging and inspiring speaker? Does your group need a good jolt of positive thinking? Look no further than JJ Flizanes. Visit her site to check out her most requested topics and video examples. jjflizanes.com. That's jjflizanes.com.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly video casts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.tv. Have a fit and fabulous day.